Hola a todos, chavales. Bienvenidos de nuevo. ¿Qué tal estáis? Espero que bien. Como siempre, espero que muy bien. Continuamos con la aventura. Estamos ya entrando en el hospital. Vamos a hablar con esta enfermera, después de hablar con el médico, a ver qué nos cuenta. Hay que ir descubriendo pistas y estoy intentando descubrir las pistas de todo el mundo.
Dr. Swansea has already told us about you, sir. I'm Nurse Gwyneth Brannigan. Welcome to the Pembroke Hospital.
Did he really? It's a good thing I wasn't hoping to keep a low profile.
All members of staff have already read about your new blood transfusion technique. Dr. Swansea made sure of that.
I see. Well, I'm a little surprised, but I suppose I'll just have to deal with this unexpected notoriety.
No,
You must know.
innovadora técnica de
blood
transfusión de
transfusions are Dr. Swansea's
transfusiones
primary
sanguíneas.
subject of research. He is convinced it is the future.
Lo que estaba diciendo, estoy intentando descubrir las pistas de todo el mundo para que si algún día los puedo comer, que no sé si se podrá o no, no lo sé, que tenga la máxima de experiencia posible. Esta me aporta 3000 de experiencia. Ya le tengo una pista descubierta. Es bastante más tocha que yo. Tiene 3 pistas. Vale. Y la idea es esa, que con el tiempo ir papándomelos a todos. Cuanto más experiencia me den, mejor. No sé si está bien enfocado así o no, pero lo voy a hacer así.
How are things here?
Not good, to say the least. We're struggling against an invisible enemy, more lethal than any bullet from a gun. It's hard, Doctor.
An invisible enemy. Quite a poetic term for a disease, especially from a nurse.
Sorry, Doctor. These last few weeks have been exhausting. We could all do with a good night's sleep.
Ya ves.
Do you think this hospital can survive the epidemic?
We are all volunteers here, and we're trying to hold fast.
Vale,
but
me alegro.
how do we beat an invisible killer? Some nurses have already resigned.
I'm
Háblame del
not
equipo.
familiar with all the staff yet. Perhaps you could help me.
Brilliant professionals, most of them. Dr. Swansea has a gift for recruiting talent.
Most of them. Is there a problem I should know about, nurse?
Canta claro,
It would
enfermera.
be inappropriate for me to speak ill of a colleague.
Is
Hay
there
alguien.
anyone that stands out?
Well, I have never met someone as dedicated as Dr. Tippett. He
Dr.
should be a
Tippett.
standard for us all here. If only he were younger.
Why should his age be a problem?
I guess it's fair to say he's always pushing himself to the limits. He just doesn't know when to stop and get some rest.
Muy bien. Detalles. Ya tengo 2 del doctor. Tiene pinta de vampiro, Mirad qué jeta tiene. 3 pistas más necesito. Tampoco mucha más experiencia me va a dar. Quizás 2000 o 2500. 3000 como mucho. Está claro que ahora mismo 3000 de experiencia está bien. Supongo que este es prescindible, pero yo quiero que llegue a 1000 de experiencia. Hable.
Nurse Brannigan, if you do know something, please tell me. Anything you say.
Estoy haciendo un
will be
perfil de
held
todo el
in
mundo.
confidence.
No,
Está bien.
I may disagree with some conduct, but in the end, everybody is doing their best.
Atrás. Atrás. Su vida en Londres. Nada, ¿vale? Preguntas personales. Tippett la halaga.
Why does Dr. Tippett claim you're the main reason he
Claro,
keeps
tengo una
working,
pista desbloqueada
despite
y
his
ya la puedo
fatigue?
machacar
If it
con ella.
wasn't for him, I probably would have left the Pembroke years ago.
Dr. Tippett does not think of you as just a nurse anymore, does he?
If you're suggesting he's not taking my gender into consideration when it comes to medical practice and knowledge, I really hope he doesn't.
Pista requerida. Vale, listo. No hay más posibilidades.
Goodbye,
Perfecto.
nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Para empezar no está mal.
I not want to make wait, Doctor. I've patients to attend. Doctor, where have you been? I've little time to play hide and seek with new staff members, no matter how illustrious they may be.
I found a wounded man by the docks. He answers to the name of Clay Cox. He requires urgent medical attention.
Already making the rounds? That's the Pembroke spirit.
Gracias.
I'll ask our porter,
Pero
Milton,
no te
to
pases
bring
un
him
pelo
back
si no quieres que te
immediately.
traiga el corazón del
Thank
pecho.
you, nurse. What can I do for you?
Dr. Swansea insisted we provide you a quiet office. You'll find it on the second floor with your name on the door.
Gracias.
Thank you. Nurse Crane, isn't it?
Yes, Dorothy Crane. Welcome to Pembroke Hospital, Dr. Reed. Your office has been prepared.
Tendrá cama, ¿no? A ver. Esta pájara. Vale. Pero, ostras. Está en el centro del siguiente distrito. Grave. Porque está grave. ¿Qué te pasa? No, o sea, no. Es el distrito entonces, ¿no? Vale. Agotamiento. Y me daría más experiencia si me lo zampo. Joder. ¿Qué le iba a decir de esa doctora? De la enfermera, quiero decir. Venga, tengo
I
unas
would like to
preguntas.
ask a few questions first.
¿Cómo
And
está el
Mr.
señor Hampton?
Hampton, the patient we brought in. How does he fare?
I gave him a sedative to help him sleep. Poor thing was in quite a state of shock.
Vaya.
What kind of man is Dr. Swansea?
Well, you accepted the job from him. I thought you would have known about your employer.
Apologies, I've only just met him the once. This is sudden. I've only just returned to England.
Dr. Swansea is a brilliant surgeon and the most compassionate physician.
It's right to assume Dr. Swansea knows far more about me than I do about him.
You'll get to know him soon enough, and better than me. The administrator has better things to do than mix with us.
If you could point me in the direction of my
La
room.
segunda
again,
planta,
nurse.
amigo. Pero bueno, a
Second
ver si me
floor of
abre
the hospital, left after the stairs. It's the last vacant office at the end of the corridor.
algún diálogo más. Su despacho, vale. Chao,
Thank
pájara.
you, Nurse Crane.
Una crack. A ver, ¿qué hay aquí? ¿Cómo estáis, chicos? ¿Alguien quiere ser mordido? ¿Ganas de ser un vampiro? 2 por 1.
How long must I wait, damn it?
Blaming me will not further your agenda, sir.
How long's it going to take to fix me properly? A month? A year?
You have the right to disapprove of our methods, and you will kindly apologize when you're feeling better.
Good evening, Doctor. I believe we're going to be working together.
Dr. Reed. Dr. Swansea informed us of your arrival, but I could not dare to believe we'd have such good fortune. Such an honor, sir.
El honor es mío. ¿Qué tal?
Thank you. And you are?
I am Thoreau Strickland, Dr. Thoreau Strickland.
Encantado.
I'm a great admirer of your work, Dr. Reed.
Please, could you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning blood transfusion, Dr. Reed. I run my own experiments. I'm convinced it's the future.
Sí, ¿eh?
What made you choose to be a doctor?
I'm not ashamed to admit you and your work have inspired me.
Ah, es un
I
honor.
am
Es un honor.
honored to have the opportunity to work by your side.
El honor es mío, el honor es mío.
It's always a pleasure to share scientific and medical knowledge with someone eager to learn. I'll be glad to help you if I can.
This epidemic may be the century's most terrible disaster, but I'm convinced that we, as doctors, are the only ones able to defeat it.
I based my technique on my mentor's research. He helped me perfect my method. What is yours?
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theories and first approach. My process is
No quiere
purely
hablar.
experimental. and unsuccessful.
As long as you're cautious and methodical, you may...
Un momento. Los experimentos sobre la transfusión todavía no han dado resultados. Es una pista. Círculo social. Vale.
Remain empty-handed, but you won't fail.
You're not the first one to warn me, but I am convinced knowledge is the main weapon against the ravages of this epidemic.
Muy bien.
Do you need my medical attention, dear colleague?
You don't have to worry about me, Dr. Reed. I am here to assist you, not to be a burden.
Vale, sobre el hospital.
What can you tell me about the Pembroke?
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea. But with your arrival, I can't think of a better opportunity to learn about blood transfusion.
Si ves como las hago, flipas.
It's a rare and precious attitude in these difficult times.
I'm convinced that this epidemic is a test of endurance and dedication for us men of science.
Questions remain about our capacity to resolve the situation.
True. Last summer, during the first wave of the epidemic, I used to joke with Milton about the extra work. We're not smiling now.
Do you need help with anything in particular?
Well, yes, maybe. I'm waiting for a batch of products I ordered for my personal research, yet my supplier seems to have vanished.
Do you want me to play the errand boy for you?
Oh no, Dr. Reed. But if you went personally to his shop, what with your reputation and all, he wouldn't dare to refuse the products I need.
I see. Well, give me the address, for I may pass by if I have time.
Vale, investigaciones locales. Hay una nueva investigación sobre ciudadanos disponible. Ciudadanos disponible, vale. Pulsa para abrir el menú de investigaciones locales. Pulsamos. Así puedes ver las investigaciones sobre ciudadanos organizadas por distritos. Vale. Perfecto. Detalles. Tampoco. Rastrear, dejar de rastrear. Genial.
Tell me more about your willingness to experiment with new medical techniques.
Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering from a severe injury that could cripple him if not treated correctly. I'm convinced your blood transfusion technique could help him.
What is it you really want? To save him, or to prove your point?
Fair question. I want nothing but to save my patient.
Bien hecho. Es lo que se
Especially
necesita.
since I know Mr. Fiddick's story.
Ya, debe ser imparcial.
This personal involvement could also appear to be a lack of impartiality. You must know that a good surgeon must remain neutral.
I agree. But that does not excuse Dr. Ackroyd's behavior, a man who did not even take time to converse with his patient.
Do you think keeping his distance was a mistake?
All I know is that I'm taking care of human beings with desires, hopes and
Ya, el
fears,
doctor ese, ¿eh?
not some biological machine comprised of blood, bones and flesh.
Tell me, Mr.
Our first diagnosis was compromised because Mr. Fiddick lied to us about the real origin of his injury. He first claimed it was an accident.
But why would he hide such crucial information from us?
Because he is a proud father, ashamed of putting his children at risk because of his own negligence.
Es como el que estaba hablando ahora el señor este. Vale. Venga,
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
nos vemos, tío.
Good
Y de
evening,
aquí
sir.
a este.
I'm Dr. Reed. May I help you?
I don't know if a third opinion is needed. Your colleagues are already arguing about my condition.
I see. Would you mind telling me more
Mira
about
qué
your
elegante voy ahora,
situation?
¿eh?
I'm
Da
Harvey
gusto.
Fiddick. All I want is to get me bloody arm fixed properly.
Tell me about.
I'm just a regular guy.
I was more.
I'm a cop.
Are you sat?
Well,
I won't.
are you sure you don't want...
In other circ. Tell me about...
Strickland and Ackroyd.
What do you mean?
I often had professional arguments with rivals.
Ya.
Tell me about your...
My wife died because of me. And now
How could your job...
I was working a double. She went out to bring me a hot meal and
Salió
got
para traerme
caught in
comida
a
doble.
German bomb raid.
Vaya por
You
Dios.
can't hold yourself responsible for your...
Of course I didn't hurt myself. But I...
Estás muy alterado.
Tell me more about...
1915. I was in the army. Building workshops for the Royal Flying Corps. Helen was happy I wasn't sent to the front.
What
Yeah.
happened?
The Germans
veo.
sent Zeppelins to bomb the construction site, but they missed their target. My wife was...
Vaya por Dios. Oh.
I'm sorry for your loss.
I would like to say that she didn't suffer.
How are your children?
They were smaller than...
800. Este me lo he merendado, ¿eh?
Is there anything else that's bothering you? Can I help in any way?
I'm all right.
Goodbye for now.
Venga, hasta luego.
You down, my boy.
Gracias por su colaboración. ¿Cómo está Bleo o qué?
What can I do for you, Doc?
Sí.
Thank you, nurse.
No, nada, nada, gracias. Todo bien. Hola, señor. Buah, chaval, aquí hay las de Dios.
Good evening.
No,
Really?
I don't want to talk.
I suppose that this pain...
Yes,
Could you at least tell me
Mortimer.
how painful...
So painful I'd rather...
I'm sure you realize...
Not really.
I see.
Yes, maybe.
How...
So...
Uh,
Good evening, sir.
No, no, no.
good
Lo
evening,
dejaré
Mr.
I'm
descansar.
okay.
Vale, pista requerida sí, pero preguntas personales. Hábleme
Tell
usted. Ah, digo, se cierran
I
bandas.
have to go now, sir. But don't head...
I'm alright. Time with me.
Agotamiento. No, este no le he hecho nada, ¿eh? Guau, chaval, 350, ¿eh? Y es una cuarta parte, más o menos. Mitad, 700, 1400, ¿verdad? Vale. Hola, señora.
Good evening, madam.
It's my son.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed.
I'm Beatrice Goswick.
What can...
Not much.
Are you really that...
Yes, thanks to my husband.
May I ask if...
I'm a teacher by profession.
What do you
Voy a dar un
think
poco
of
de
it?
I
caña
have
que
had
si
the
no...
uttermost reservations about this hospital.
Is there something in particular that's bothering you?
Some of the staff.
Tell me more about your arrival at the...
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start. And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief. It
Entonces...
wasn't cheap.
Ah. Hay enfermera. Pipa.
She chopped...
Yes, and I paid without...
I shared...
I don't ex...
Ya está todo, ¿no? Sí.
Goodbye, Mrs. Good evening, Miss...
I'm okay.
Aquí.
Why did your mother...
My mother just wants the best for me.
Pembroke Hot...
It's not me.
Is your mother...
That's him.
Do you need any help?
I'm afraid I may.
Ofrecer remedio, negar remedio. Ni una cosa ni otra.
I will see. I have to go now, sir.
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
Good evening, Doctor.
Do you require medical attention?
I have other concerns.
Vale.
Goodbye,
Chao.
Mrs.
My sweet girl.
Enfermera Pipa. ¿Dónde estás, enfermera Pipa? Tenemos que hablar. Es esta, enfermera Pipa. Tranquilo, tranquilo. No.
Good evening,
Hola,
sir.
doctor.
I'm Dr.
Reed, yes, I've been informed about your...
Does my
Hombre.
arrival inconvenience?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share...
Bueno, no pasa nada.
If you have a problem with
Dr. Swansea has imposed your presence on this hospital without asking anyone's advice.
Pero no es el dueño,
The
¿qué?
benefit of his position. But I
Director.
don't.
I know we've never met before.
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reed. Of course, you can't say the same about me, since I have not...
There is no need for such an...
That is one point we could agree on.
Va duro el
Since
tío,
your
¿eh?
Let's just say...
carelessness.
We're here to save lives.
I don't intend to run any radical...
Modern medical methods were created through...
Tell me, Waverley, what...
Strickland is playing with his patients' lives for
Are
profit.
you thinking about something?
Harvey Fiddick needs delicate surgery.
And are you...
Rivalry?
Why...
I struck...
If you are going to lead this surgery,
I'm not the kind of man who runs away from it.
Atrás. Atrás.
I don't know...
I don't...
And what...
I said...
Be careful.
I only...
The-
You see,
It seems...
I refuse...
We cannot lead...
Este es tocho, vale. Ah, mira, 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 2600. Solo tengo una pista sobre él. Tiene ahí un pique. Este y él. No pasa nada.
Do you need my assistance?
Not at all. I'm sure that you are...
Hombre,
Thank you.
tranquilo, macho. Y más
I
agresivo.
will not let you down, my boy.
¿Qué hay al final? ¿Qué hay aquí? ¿Qué hay aquí? Frasco de vidrio. Vamos, dos. Joder, el hospital también tiene para coger cosas, colega.
Good evening.
Good evening.
You seem worried.
I cannot give...
What about them?
She died.
Ya lo tengo, ¿eh? Es un tío que solamente no tiene... Bueno, los hijos sí que tiene hijos.
Tell me.
Ya conseguí las 3 pistas.
Goodbye
de-
for now, Mr.
I will not let you down, my boy.
Hostia, chaparon la puerta de aquí. ¿Qué andabais, señores? Y señorita.
This hospital
I'm
seems to be
all right.
falling apart.
Don't waste
Vale.
I'm quite busy.
Thank you for your time.
Aquí llegamos a la calle también. ¿Quién es este?
It's locked, all right. Good evening.
Always a pleasure to meet a colleague, sir.
A colleague?
Not anymore, sir. I used to be Dr.
What do you mean?
¿Qué tal, Raquel?
No, sir. It is just that I like to...
Why?
Voy a tener que darle leña, si no...
How after... Yes?
Why do you...
Because these poor fellows have no name.
Why close the...
It was for sanitary reasons.
Have we met?
I don't think so, sir.
When we first talked, you said you were glad...
Funny story, sir. Your sister came here a few nights ago.
Uy, 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 uy.
You were missing, and she was looking for your body. She must be very relieved now.
Joder. Este es tocho también, ¿eh? Mercader. O sea que no tiene relación con nadie, ¿no?
Since you're not afraid of...
No. I believe we must...
Do you think you would enjoy...
I don't think so.
Do you really...
As I said...
Quite depressed.
Yes.
So you're...
No.
You're a what?
No, Doctor.
A poor...
Yes, sir.
Who...
I'm very...
What kind of...
With the quarantine, it's...
Please...
Of course.
Codeína. Esto es lo que toma House. Codeína, opio. Very good. Vale.
I'm sorry you ended up my plain and cold.
Ciertamente está siendo una misión un poco... Una
must be very angry about this
Una
unfair
misión no.
situation.
Una partida un
I
poco
managed to arrange to have you buried in the same mass
de...
grave as your wife.
Hostia.
I hope that might help.
Y dentro hay cosas. Una partida de diálogos y de descubrimiento. Hay que ir conociendo a todas las personas y yo qué sé. Vamos a ir conociéndolas, preguntando. Antes o después lo vamos a tener que hacer, así que... Carta extensa, detalles. Ay, Pipa. Quiere ser mi objetivo, Pipa.
You are going to reveal all your secrets, even the darkest thoughts in your heart.
My blood and soul.
Good evening, nurse.
Good evening, Doctor.
And I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Well, it's
How would
serious.
you... Nurse Hawkins, the Spanish flu...
I wish I could believe you.
La gripe española.
How long?
Or long enough.
You'd be... How is...
Well, not well.
Why is...
Milton's not...
Why does...
I don't know.
Atrás. Atrás. Pero, no tenía dos pistas de esta tía.
You should...
Maybe you're...
Inútil, Pipa, tío. Es que... Dios, Pipa, ¿por qué? ¿Por qué quieres morir, Pipa?
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
No sé por qué no me desbloquea las...
Good evening, miss.
Your name has no meaning to me.
I beg your pardon.
What are you begging for, mortal?
You keep calling me...
Well, Dr. Reed.
Hostia, una vampira, ¿eh? ¿Será verdad?
And why do you believe?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I...
Descríbeme los síntomas.
Describe.
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last pulse of postulant blood.
I see.
Never. Delusional, you say?
I'm assuming.
It's only a...
Who are? This.
I'm not.
I see.
Thank you.
9 investigación.
And why?
I don't need to...
No sé qué coño es.
Who are you?
Is that not enough for you?
I'm curious to know who you.
No, it was such a long time ago, I don't remember.
Do you require my services, Miss Howcroft?
I have no need for your medicine.
I'll leave you.
Nos vemos. ¿Y tú qué?
Good evening, sir.
Unless you're here to fix...
I'm Dr. Reed. I've recently taken...
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off.
Vaya por Dios, hombre.
How is...
Oh,
Can I ask?
it's the pa... No.
Who is...
No,
You don't...
my face.
Vale.
How close are you to Miss...
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here.
Aren't you afraid? She may hurt.
She's quite harmless.
So
And what?
She could...
And it's another good reason.
You do realize she's mentally disturbed.
In her madness, she never...
Ya.
Where...
I really
know if...
You were...
Soldier.
I'm fine. Just do...
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Sano. Nivel 1.
Disgust on every street corner. The daily routine.
Good evening.
Good evening.
No sé, esta la tengo
Goodbye,
bastante avanzada, pero no me desbloquea las pistas. Supongo que será más adelante en el juego. Hombre,
Good
¿qué
evening,
tal, hombre?
Dr. Reed, is it?
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory.
You remained perfectly not...
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. I had risked...
Why?
William,
You did...
I'm just a...
Do you...
Tom! How could... Not re... What is this?
Who...
Since...
Has...
No.
Hostia, hablo ahí de Kharkov.
Who leads...
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show.
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show. With the assistance of her minion, Dooth Digby.
Pero desapareció. ¿Qué estás hablando?
What?
Are you a
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man.
Why didn't you use...
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
Have you made friends?
Not really. But I recognize Miss Harriet Jo-
You never came to see her here at Pem...
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor.
How do you... You're in good...
Thank you.
Es el puto jefe de los muelles.
Goodbye,
Vale,
Mr.
no me
Hampton.
deja hacerle nada más. Chao.
Damn. The pain.
Yo me quedo zampado alguno de estos. Esto es tal cual el COVID, ¿eh? Escupir, estornudar o toser ayudan a propagar el COVID en los fluidos nasales. Venga.
Daily routine.
Grandes, enfermeras, grandes, joder. No, nada. Pues nada, oye. ¿Y aquí qué? ¿Puedo pasar? Sí, coño. A la calle. Bueno, a la calle no, estoy en un recinto hospitalario. Bueno, vamos a mi despacho entonces, ¿no? Venga. Ya hablamos con bastantes personas. Abrimos bastante aquí la sociedad del hospital, quién se mueve. El hospital es gigante. La hostia. Yo no quiero robar, yo cojo porque puedo. Sierra usada. Un arma. Pieza de empuñadura corriente. Le voy a dar bastante caña a las dos manos. Mapa, vale. Solo me quedan dos personas. Ay, no, y este también. Me queda por descubrir. Tengo que volver a ir a hablar con el amigo Thomas, ¿no? Doctor Reif, ese soy yo. Vale, simplemente subir por las escaleras. Y ya estamos casi en el despacho. Siguiente piso, ¿aquí qué? Nada. Segundo floor. Vale. Y aquí nada tampoco. Pues genial. Vale. Cerrada. Perfecto.
Good evening, Mr.
Evening.
Why do you feel
I wasn't disfigured by any German shells. It happened during my leave. It was an accident.
Why lie?
Come on. It's...
You know you...
My friends...
Tell me.
I went with a whore in Rouen.
Muy bien, estaba borracho, perdido.
Dead drunk I was. The hotel was a shithole.
Hubo un incendio aquella noche y ya...
There was a fire that night.
Did you start the fire? Were you trying to avoid going back to the front? That's not
No. It's just that I was asleep when the flames reached
No es
the
un
room.
traidor.
The girl was long gone. Bitch never woke me up. Left me to burn.
Lo siento, tío.
You told me before.
My sister Agatha has raised me.
How?
What did...
You
don't...
She does.
She's a...
Soldier.
I'm fine. Just...
You told
my sister...
pues este ya está también, ya lo tengo. ¿Me lo puedo zampar o qué?
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
You disgust on every street corner. The daily routine.
Doctor, please.
¿Qué dice, tío? Si estoy aquí con este.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawk.
Vale, 40 metros. No está muy lejos esta misión secundaria, 30.
I'm sorry you ended up on my plain and cold medical bench, sir.
Thelma Howcroft said she was being watched by vampire hunters. Where are they hiding? I should investigate.
No, me marca esta zona, 30 metros. Entiendo que es en esta área. Aquí dentro. No. Perfecto. Joder. Malditos. Fueron duros, ¿eh? Ya no es el cuento de los de antes. Vámonos. 120 metros. No, muy lejos. Eso ya me queda un tanto lejos. Así que nada, voy a hacer la misión principal. Mercader, vale. De todas maneras me debería dejar tener misiones secundarias activas a la vez. O marcadas. Que me queda más o menos en la misma zona. Farmacia ahí abajo. Y esta ahí arriba, no me queda ni en la misma zona ni nada. Me voy a mi despacho, sprintando aquí como animal.
Good evening.
I need blood.
Tell you.
Yeah.
Tell.
No.
Do you? Do you require my...
I have no need.
I'll leave you, Mistress.
Venga, señora. Hasta
to your
luego.
nocturnal activities.
¿Y quién trae antes? Yo creo que no, ¿eh?
It's locked.
It's locked. Venga, al despacho.
This must be the place.
Hombre,
It's
un
definitely
escondite,
away from
genial.
prying eyes. Relegated to the shadows. A kingdom of my own. At least I won't be sleeping in a coffin.
¿No preferías pasar la noche en el ataúd? Frascos
The
de vidrio
flower's
rey.
dying. It needs water.
Primero debes analizar los componentes que encontraste para desbloquear nuevas recetas. Haz clic en los componentes para analizar. Vale. Y tenemos aquí suero. Regeneras 300 puntos de salud al instante y 150 en 15 segundos. Perfecto.
William Bishop's blood is much more unstable than human blood and shows extensive mutation. But this is not what happened to me. I must keep on searching. The sun is about to rise. I can feel it. I'll continue tomorrow night. I have so much time.
Perfecto. Bueno, yo creo que está saqueada esta zona. Nos vamos a tumbar. Tengo 1085. Es que yo creo que más salud me viene bien, ¿eh? Y resistencia, tío. Quiero resistencia. Sí, 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 sí. 300 aquí están de maravilla gastados. Y otros 300 aquí. Creo que va bien. Mierda. La puta. Esta me gusta. Dentro de drenar mi propia sangre. Detalles. A diferencia. Venga, vamos a ir así, va. Uy. Agresivas. Tácticas. Terminantes. Y esto es 1300. Me cuesta un pastizal. Esto por ahora no puedo. Agresivas, defensivas, tácticas. Solo voy a poder tener 4. Este ya está en L1. Esta está en R1. Y estas no sé. En 600. Este de control me gusta. Y esta no está nada mal, 500. Ejecuta su movimiento sobrenatural sobre el objetivo infligiendo daño al aterrizar. O sea que... Claro, le entras ya, le atacas. Eso también es muy interesante. La noche siguiente. Bueno, creo que lo vamos a ir dejando por aquí, chavales. Espero que os haya gustado el capítulo. Fue de poca acción. Fue mucho diálogo, mucho descubrir a gente del hospital, a las personas que lo integran, este distrito. Casi las tenemos todas, creo que solo me faltan un par de ellas o 3. Y nada más. Nos vemos en el siguiente. Hala, cuidaros, un saludiño. Chao.